Sic semper tyrannies. Stop him! He shot the president!
History is often written in ink, but occasionally it is rewritten in blood. The assassination of a head of state is more than a crime. It is a violent disruption of the social contract that can trigger wars and scar the collective psyche of a generation. Here is how 10 of the most consequential assassinations in history were carried out. At number 1 is the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln was a tall, melancholic statesman who led the country through the Civil War. On the night of April 14, 1865, while he sat in a balcony box at Ford's Theater, a Confederate sympathizer named John Wilkes Booth crept up behind him. Booth fired a single .44 caliber lead ball into the back of Lincoln's head at point-blank range before jumping onto the stage and escaping into the night. At number 2 is the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne. While visiting Sarajevo in 1914, his motorcade took a wrong turn and stalled. Gavrilo Princip, a member of the secret society known as the Black Hand, happened to be standing on the sidewalk. Princip stepped forward and fired 2 shots from a semi-automatic pistol, hitting the Archduke in the neck and his wife in the stomach, igniting the fuse for World War I. At number 3 is the assassination of John F. Kennedy, the 35th U.S. President. On November 22, 1963, Kennedy was riding in an open-top limousine through Dealey Plaza in Dallas. As the motorcade passed the Texas School Book Depository, several rifle shots rang out from a high-floor window. Kennedy was struck in the neck and the head, a moment caught on the famous Zapruder film that changed the course of American history. At number 4 is the assassination of Julius Caesar, the dictator of Rome. A group of rebellious senators, including his friend Brutus and the conspirator Cassius, lured him to a session of the Senate on the Ides of March. Once he was seated, the conspirators crowded around him under the guise of presenting a petition. They drew daggers hidden in their robes and stabbed him 23 times, leaving him to bleed out on the floor of the theater of Pompey. At number 5 is the assassination of Park Chung-hee, the president of South Korea. Park was the architect of South Korea's industrial rise, but he ruled with an iron fist. During a private dinner at a safe house in 1979, a heated argument broke out between his officials. Kim Jae-gyu, the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, drew a pistol and shot Park in the chest and head, ending his 18-year rule in a sudden burst of violence. At number 6 is the assassination of Anwar Sadat, the president of Egypt. In 1981, while Sadat was reviewing a military parade in Cairo, a truck in the procession suddenly stopped. 4 gunmen from the Egyptian Islamic Jihad leaped out and charged the reviewing stand. They threw grenades and opened fire with assault rifles, killing Sadat as he stood to see what the commotion was. At number 7 is the assassination of Yitzhak Rabin, the Prime Minister of Israel. In 1995, after attending a massive peace rally in Tel Aviv, Rabin was walking toward his car. Yigal Amir, a right-wing extremist opposed to the peace process, emerged from the crowd and fired 3 shots into Rabin's back with a semi-automatic pistol. Rabin died shortly after on the operating table. At number 8 is the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi, the former Prime Minister of India. While campaigning in Tamil Nadu in 1991, Gandhi was approached by a woman who appeared to be a supporter. She was a member of the LTTE, a separatist group, and was wearing a vest packed with explosives. As she bent down to touch his feet in a traditional sign of respect, she detonated the bomb, killing Gandhi and 14 others instantly. At number 9 is the assassination of Patrice Lumumba, the first legally elected Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. After being deposed in a coup supported by Belgian and US interests, Lumumba was captured and beaten. He was eventually driven to a remote forest by a firing squad led by Belgian officers. He was executed by gunshot, and his body was later dissolved in acid to hide any evidence of the crime. At number 10 is the assassination of Aldo Moro, the former Prime Minister of Italy. In 1978, Moro's car was ambushed in Rome by members of the Red Brigades, who killed his 5 bodyguards and kidnapped him. After being held captive in a people's prison for 55 days, Moro was told he was being moved. He was placed in the trunk of a car and shot 10 times, his body later dumped in the center of Rome as a grim political message. These moments remind us that when leaders are taken by force, the shockwaves echo through the decades. History teaches us that an assassination rarely achieves peace. It usually only invites the chaos it claimed to despise.